What are the comprehensive pros and significant cons of jerking off, the widely known and often discussed practice of masturbation? Is it truly just a universally bad thing, or does it actually possess some surprising and often overlooked benefits? Stick with me until the very end of this informative video, because we're going to thoroughly uncover the complete truth about this ancient age-old practice that countless men engage in every single day. Welcome to my channel. My name is Diego Souza, sexologist with a postgraduate degree in clinical sexology, founder of the Brazilian School of Tantra, and a student of psychoanalysis. Here on this channel, we talk about sacred, healthy sexuality, bringing practical benefits to your intimate life, which is very powerful. Well, I want to start by talking about the downsides, which is the part most people know about, right? So we can be aware of the things that can happen with the practice of masturbation. Then, at the end of this video, we'll get into the benefits and even some tips on how to do it, okay? Stick with me until the end of this video, and you'll get tips on how to reduce these downsides with healthy practices. Well, the first issue is physiological, right? Excessive masturbation can cause sexual fatigue. You can desensitize your penis. What do I mean by that? The stimulation from masturbation is sometimes very strong, very intense, right? The videos are very intense, and in reality, real sex often might not satisfy you as much as masturbation does. You can actually experience desensitization, simple as that. And this is quite common, okay? Many men are choosing to masturbate rather than have real sex. Oh, I don't have to take anyone out to dinner. I don't have to keep pleasing someone. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. I don't have to deal with PMS. Masturbation satisfies me. Man, this is so real. It's so common now that you can't even imagine. But that's how it is, right? You're living a virtual romance with your computer screen, aren't you? To what extent is that healthy for you, for your brain, for your existence? Another thing is, if it becomes a compulsive habit, it can cause a temporary drop in your testosterone, okay? That's another important thing for you to watch out for, because if a guy ejaculates 5 or 6 times a day, especially during adolescence when hormones are running wild, it really can become a problem, right? You end up feeling drained, you get tired, so it really can temporarily harm your testosterone production. Another point is that it can be associated with both premature ejaculation and delayed ejaculation. What does that mean? Delayed ejaculation is when it takes you a long time to ejaculate. This usually happens when you masturbate with a lot of pressure on your penis, okay? And as for premature ejaculation, which is when you climax very quickly, that usually happens when you masturbate really fast, so you don't get caught by your parents, family members, or wife. This ends up creating a conditioning, and you literally train your body for premature ejaculation. So you really need to pay close attention. If you are truly struggling with premature ejaculation, my friend, we absolutely cannot solve this with medication. It's complete nonsense, because you have literally trained your body for premature ejaculation. So my recommendation is, in the link in the description and pinned in the comments, there's a link to a class on the APM method, which is a set of exercises to help you reverse premature ejaculation in a natural and scientific way. It works for everyone, but you need to follow this physiotherapeutic reversal protocol. You need to go through a process, and if you've been dealing with premature ejaculation for a long time, put an end to it. Put an end to this suffering. It's an issue that causes enormous psychological pain. It doesn't cause physical pain, but it brings a lot of emotional distress. So I really recommend that you take a look at the APM method, and if you need help, we're here to help you put an end to this problem. Well, masturbation can also affect psychological issues, acting as a coping mechanism. Oh, are you feeling sad? A little masturbation to get some relief. Anxious, masturbation. Feeling happy? A little masturbation to celebrate. So we have to be careful, because otherwise it can really turn into a cheap dopamine hit. Any little thing that happens with my mood swings, I immediately go for this escape, this masturbation, to get a source of pleasure, and that's pretty dangerous. We can also fall into a pit of guilt and shame, okay? Depending on your religion, you can really get into a more serious psychological issue depending on the religion you're in, and end up in a situation of guilt and shame that can really drag you down to rock bottom. And of course, if you watch a lot of pornography, you can actually develop a little bit unrealistic expectations about reality regarding the size of your penis, your girlfriend, or even your partner. So you need to stay alert. What we see on the screen doesn't always match reality. Those are people who are selected and are professionals working in that field. So be very careful, okay? And another thing, many adult videos contain violence against women. This ends up creating a culture that good sex is violent sex. Is that really true? Think about that. And that's a topic for another video, but is all this violence really healthy for sex? I'm not saying you should go too soft, but I think there are times and places for everything. This ends up causing a misunderstanding. For example, women take much longer to get aroused. If you start off too rough right away, you probably won't even give her a chance to get properly aroused. Arousal happens through relaxation and pleasure, not through violence. Of course, there might certainly come a particular moment of truly intense arousal when you can indeed be a bit more intense during sexual activity, but that's typically more towards the middle or the very end, okay? You really need to be careful with that. Another issue that can get in the way is this vital energy, now moving a bit into the tantric side of things. Your semen generates life. It has enormous energetic, quantum, physical, and spiritual power. If you're constantly getting rid of that energy, what do you think will happen to your own personal energy? You'll end up drained, tired, lacking the strength to face life, and without creativity. Sexual energy is powerful. That's also a topic for another video, okay? So don't go wasting it. Feel this sexual energy, feel how it revitalizes you, how it gives you strength. Start paying attention. Of course, all this lack of discipline can indeed create a sense of emptiness, a lack of fulfillment, a sense of disconnection. So really do it mindfully, do it with presence if you're going to do it. And also start to stimulate and feel the benefits of being energized. Well, so let's get to the positive points of masturbation, knowing that you need to do it consciously, my brother. And the first benefit, of course, is circulation, right? Frequently supplying your penis with a consistent flow of blood is very positive and highly beneficial because it nourishes the overall health of the corpora cavernosa. So it's really important that you get aroused often. This is super healthy and incredibly vital for your intimate health. It will also help prevent prostatic congestion. Frequent masturbation can significantly reduce the risk of cases of prostatitis. And there are some studies that show that it really does reduce the risk of prostate cancer. So it really is a practice that can be healthy because it gets things moving, energizes, and promotes very important blood circulation. Of course, and the best part is it will reduce tension, lower cortisol levels, so it brings about a relaxation that's really healthy, right? For this reason, it's definitely important. And especially if done consciously, it will help you to get to know your own body, discover your erogenous zones, what kinds of pleasure you truly enjoy, and how you like it, right? Everybody's different. There are men who, for example, like to masturbate more gently without too much pressure. Others often prefer more pressure. Some individuals like to focus their attention on the head. Some people simply like to masturbate just using their fingertips. Every man is different, right? There are differences. So getting to know yourself is always very important. And doing it consciously really helps with self-esteem. You feel energized, you're stimulating your virility. This can definitely help with your self-esteem. And another thing, if you do it consciously, within the APM method, we explain how to do it consciously. This can put an end to your premature ejaculation. We actually call it controlled stimulation. It involves self-touch, right? So if you learn to do it the right way by understanding your body and strengthening your muscles, you can overcome premature ejaculation. You can train your ejaculatory control. This is excellent because you'll be able to ejaculate when your partner is satisfied. This gives you a great sense of autonomy and confidence. And of course, from a tantric point of view, if you practice conscious masturbation without pornography, with good deep breathing, with a gentler, more mindful touch, exploring your body with presence, feeling every single millimeter of your body, this can really lead you to a profound meditative state and can even give you an expansion of your sexual energy. So yes, it's a practice that, when done consciously and intentionally, can really help you a lot. It's just like... And it's also important to talk about frequency, okay? It can't interfere with your real life. You have to fit it into your routine in a way that, for example, you're 100% energized when you're going to have sex. It makes no real sense at all to masturbate right before having sex because you'll lose your sexual vitality. I like to give the example that it's like having dinner at home before going to a restaurant. It makes no sense to lose your appetite before going to a restaurant. It's the same thing. Masturbating before having sex is actually a common crutch for men who experience premature ejaculation, helping them to last longer during sexual intercourse. And often the guy can't even get an erection because the older we get, the longer the refractory period becomes. What does that mean? It's the recovery period between one ejaculation and another. Older you get, longer period becomes. Pay attention. Don't just waste too much energy before having sex. Did you like the video? Well, if you have indeed made it to the very end of this video, please do comment down below "man of value" so I will know you watched until the very end, that you're truly committed to this new and improved sex life, to this profound transformation. Man, just the fact that you're here studying about sexuality already sets you apart from thousands of men who are just on autopilot. So, masturbation, weak masturbation. Man, that's the mindset of most of society. So I want to congratulate you for making it to the end of this video. And of course, man, did you really think I wouldn't ask you? Man, I gave you a ton of value here. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like, comment here. Let's chat, man. Let's talk. It's important to me. I read all the comments. I reply to all the comments. The channel is still small, relatively small. We're growing at the speed of light, thank God. But man, your comment is important to me. It helps engage the video here too, all right, brother? A big hug to your heart, and stick with us here so we can live a healthy sexuality. Big hug, bye. My God, I almost forgot. I even left my studio already. If you want to stop masturbating, if you feel like you're addicted, having a hard time and want a strategy, want tips to quit this habit, there's a video here on the channel that will definitely help you. I'll pin it here, okay? And also in the description and in the comments, along with the APM method for those who want to overcome premature ejaculation. Watch this video if you want to quit this habit because there are some tips there that might help you, okay?